base. We're locked down for some reason. Don't know what's going on. But I figured I'd do this video because someone in the comments made a really good point regarding sidechain functionality and it potentially not leading to scarcity. The gentleman basically stated that, well, you know, you have to dive a little bit deeper when you talk about the lockup protocols regarding sidechains, because eventually those protocols could require for the native asset to be unlocked and used for other use cases. So I want to clarify that while in some instances you may not see a permanent lockup of XRP regarding sidechain interop, what you will see at some point are institutions who engage in DeFi practices and protocols that would ultimately require a long-term lockup of the assets. You have to remember, a lot of DeFi protocols out there have been subject to a lot of security risk regarding hacks and a myriad of other issues that an institution who's engaged in that has clientele that's going to be dependent upon them for that passive income, etc., is not going to want to take that risk if they have some sort of a permissioned environment interconnected to the mainnet. It wouldn't be beneficial for them to turn around and say, hey, we have this certain amount of XRP that we want to lock up on the mainnet regarding our sidechain usability, but nah, even though this is DeFi, maybe 6 months down the road, we'll unlock it and use it somewhere else. No, what's likely going to happen is you're going to see entities that have multiple pools of digital assets that they use for that purpose, right? Like I may have a pool. It's no different from the average retail investor. Hey, I have a pool that I keep on this cold wallet, right? I have a pool that I keep on an exchange. I have a pool that I keep on another wallet, right? Don't think that institutions aren't going to do the same thing when it comes to these assets. So yes, the individual was partially right that in some use cases, you could see it unlocked and then hitting the circulating supply again after that temporary lockup period. But anytime you see something involving a long-term vehicle, that will not happen, okay? And there's going to be probably a significant amount of XRP allocated to DeFi and lending protocols once we see regulatory framework implemented. So, you know, I just kind of wanted to put that out there. You know, I'm not one of those guys that gets upset about a difference of opinions. The guy yesterday was just a troll. He didn't know what he was talking about, okay, regarding the Zenfin and XRPO integration, or Zenfin and, excuse me, I totally goofed that up, Zenfin and Chainlink integration that's going to happen here, or is already happening regarding oracles. Totally different from a plugin that's a fork of something else, right? But whatever, that's neither here or there. So just remember that even use cases like ETFs and ETPs, man, I have heartburn this morning, Jesus. But those type of protocols that you, right, like, so let's take a dive at that, right? You're not going to see an institution that has an ETF or an ETP type product that's going to turn around and use the XRP that they have powering that investment vehicle as an underlying asset for something else. That doesn't make sense, right? For them to reallocate it somewhere else when you need the underlying asset to ensure that you're solvent regarding the funds that you're offering your clientele. So just something to keep in mind. Like I said, I don't mind his difference of opinions. He made some good points, and like I said, what he said in certain instances is true, but you have to look at the bigger picture when you're talking about this space. You can't have a linear way of viewing things when it comes to reduction in supply for an asset, right? There's a way bigger picture than I think a lot of people realize. Let's take a look at these comments. Yeah, I'm actually yeah, I think Flare will be involved in XRP. Hi everyone. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to come on and make a quick video about that. I'll stay on a little bit longer until we get moving again. I don't know what the heck is going on, and I'm not going to say what gate I'm at or what I think they're doing, but yeah, Friday morning shenanigans, and of course they have made me late to work, but it's all good, right? You said my car sounds like a beast? Well, I got the subs turned off because I'm doing this video. So if you're talking about the rumble, that's actually a truck that's next to me. Yeah, no problem. I don't look. From time to time, I don't mind doing videos, right? I don't do content nearly as much anymore. I'm usually on Twitter because it's just easy to hop into space or post something. But yeah, I mean, from time to time, I'll still come and say what's up. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so like I said, man, I think what you see a lot of times is because of the amount of circulating supply that's out there, and because of the narratives that have been force fed to people, that in order to have a reduction in supply, you need total destruction of an asset for that to happen, or it shouldn't have existed in the first place. It's skewed people's perspectives on what it's going to take to dwindle down the supply, or to put it in a scenario where it's locked away for a very long time. You know, people look at the escrow mechanisms and, you know, and some of these other things, and they don't see a way forward regarding a long-term reduction in circulating supply-based solution regarding the XRP ledger and tokens. But I'm here to tell you that will happen at some point. Now, do I think the XRP circulating supply goes down to like, you know, 50 million or something? No, I don't think that. But I do think, and it goes back. Look, man, I'm getting over a cold. Forgive me. It goes back to a simple analogy, right? And I'm really not that good at them. Kurt is really good at taking complicated things and breaking them down. And I've always admired him for that. Analogies are dope. Hence his Megazord analogy. But think about it like this. And some of you have heard this. It's my Hulk 181 analogy. Hulk 181 was printed in 1973 at 400,000 copies. That means it's not a rare book. All right. People aren't going to go out there and buy the book and destroy it, right? But what happened with that comic book was kind of an anomaly that you typically don't see in the comic book world. Wolverine in the 1980s was revamped by Frank Miller, who gave him a dark backstory, and obviously the cartoon came out the next decade in the 90s. Jim Lee revamped the X-Men in 1991. And Wolverine became insanely popular as a result of this. When his popularity skyrocketed, folks went out and they looked for his first appearance. Okay, Hulk 181 was the first time Wolverine was shown on a cover. So you know what collectors did? They went out there and they grabbed the crap out of it. All right, you're talking collectors were buying up 20, 30, 50 copies a pop, you know, for just their personal collection, and they'd hold it, right? They created a scenario where a not rare book with a large amount printed suddenly became scarce, right? Because when the collectors went out there and grabbed all of those copies, and you're talking per collector, multiple copies, all right, what they ended up doing is it didn't get released back on the open market, quote unquote, right? So the only time you would see a Hulk 181 pop up, it'd be unicorn status at a convention. And because they were so hard to get a hold of, you're paying top dollar for one in bad condition. Like one that's, you know, maybe even missing the marble value stamp inside of the book, and maybe not in the best condition, will still cost you over 700 bucks, right? Go to a decent one that has the marble value stamp on the inside of it, you're paying about a good $2,000. So dynamics can change regarding scarcity, even if something isn't perceived as rare at the current time because of the amount of the supply that's in the wild. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead, they the gates, I'm headed on to the base, and I'll catch you guys soon. Signing out.